All right guys, so today I am here back at my house. I've been living over at my dad's house after my mom passed, and coming here, several times a week to check on my animals. Today I am checking on hatchling turtles. I'm checking on all the turtles and tortoises in the enclosures, making sure everybody looks healthy. Even gonna check on my snakes. So gonna take you guys along with me and we'll see what we see. All right, so I'm cleaning out a tub and I figured I'd update you guys on my little hatchling Mississippi map turtles. These guys are doing really good. A lot of them are actually starting to come out with some color. You can look at this guy and see on their head, these guys actually have kind of the orange crescent going on, which I think is pretty neat. Not all Mississippi map turtles have the orange, so I thought that was a cool trait. Some of them have it a bit more than the others. And, like any clutch of turtles, you're gonna have some that, grow more than the other ones. I think this guy might be the biggest one. And they've got that cool little round iris. And these guys love eating little tiny shrimps. I feed them Zoo Med hatchling diet, and they're doing really good feeding on some of that Zoo Med hatchling diet. Little pieces of worms, little pieces of shrimp. Map turtles are a predatory turtle, so they'll eat pretty much anything if it smells good, if it smells fishy. And it's been just a real joy, not only having these guys, but hatching them was a big deal because I've never hatched any map turtles before, so that was something I was pretty excited about. Mississippi map turtles that these came from, one of them was a female I've had for years since she was a little tiny juvenile, and then the male was given to me by my buddy Charlie Moorcroft, and it didn't take but about a year of them being together, and into that year, here I am with some hatchling Mississippi map turtles. So pretty cool. I've given a couple of them away. These guys make good pets, but like any aquatic turtle, there's a lot of responsibility that goes with it. I think these are the ones that are farmed, oftentimes right along red-eared sliders. Sometimes when you see them in pet stores, especially the big box pet stores, they're gonna have a mix of traits between this and the false map turtle and also the Ouachita map turtle. Really, really neat turtles. I enjoy pretty much all turtles, but little map turtles are just so cool. They almost remind me of little diamondback terrapins. I also still have these little hatchling Florida cooters. These guys are doing good and well started. They're inside right now. A lot of times when turtles hatch out later in the year, I'll well start them kind of through winter and early spring, and then move them outside sometime. I'll move them outside sometime around April or May. And but so far they're doing good. Nice smooth growth, not growing too fast. Cooters are kind of like tortoises. If you grow them too fast, they'll get kind of pyramided and lumpy. But these guys, it's neat. Some of them are like a lighter color like this guy. Some of them are a darker, more contrasty like this guy. They do have they're in a setup with some peat in it, so they do have a little bit of brown on the plastron, but that also keeps the water a little bit acidic and keeps them from getting any kind of fungus. So they're doing really good, and I really love the Florida cooters. They're really friendly turtles. They do really well, especially outside, but they do get large. All right, this is my Everglades rat snake, and I have this guy out. I like to let my snakes get outside and get a little natural light and a little exercise whenever I'm cleaning out their enclosures. And these guys are actually gonna get some much bigger enclosures pretty soon, courtesy of my buddy Charlie Moorcroft. But beautiful snake. I love the color of the eyes. I love the color of the skin and the tongue. And these guys are natives of South Florida near the Everglades. That's where they get the name Everglades rat snake. And just a really pretty rat snake. I love that golden yellow color. Absolutely gorgeous. All right. And this grumpy looking fellow is my Kankakee bull snake. And this is actually a fairly friendly snake. They are big bluffers. The bull snakes, the pine snakes, and the gopher snakes actually have a modified piece of skin inside the throat, and it allows them to hiss, and hiss louder than pretty much any other snake anywhere. But this guy's pretty calm. If I catch it off guard, it will hiss a little bit and kind of stand up and put on a show. But once in hand, this guy's really, really calm. And this is the one that pretty much if anybody's gonna come over and they wanna handle a snake, I always reach for this guy because, you can see he just he explores your hand, hangs out on your arm. Really, really chill. This one's kind of a tricolor, so it starts off black, and then as you go down the body, turns to brown, like a reddish brown. And then as you get back towards the tail, goes back to that black on like a yellow color. Just a gorgeous snake. I really love the bull snakes and pine snakes, and this one is still very small, but these snakes can get, you know, over 6 feet. I think the normal length for a Kankakee bull like this is about 5.5, 6 feet for a large adult. And they have that modified scale on the nose for digging holes and pursuing rodents and pocket gophers. And some of the larger bull snakes out west will even eat small prairie dogs. So really efficient ground-dwelling snakes that do a great job hunting down rodents and small mammals. Over here at the pond, the cooters have been actually pretty active the last couple days. We've been well above freezing. Today is in the 70s. We've had a lot of rain, so the cooters have been crawling out to bask and hang out on the logs and really just kind of moving around in the water, which is pretty cool because, you know, you go through these stretches when it gets cold and you don't see anybody, you know, for weeks on end. And then, you know, as soon as you get a nice day, everybody starts climbing out and hanging out near the surface. And it's really good to see your turtles again, you know, when you go through these winter seasons. And a lot of times these river cooters and the painted turtles are the first ones you see. They just love to bask. They love to get out and absorb some sun, some solar radiation, warms them up, and they do so well. Here is a little musk turtle. Let's check this guy out. Oh yeah. That is, I think, one of my female, yep, that's a female loggerhead musk turtle. And she was hanging out here near the intake tube. And look how pretty she is. Man, she has such good weight too. She is heavy as a brick, but not fat. And that is exactly what you want when they go into this period of inactivity. You want them heavy, but you don't want them fat. And you just want them to do as good as they possibly can during a period of inactivity. So I'm gonna put her back where she was, and we'll keep looking and see who else is active and who's running around. This is the female Florida cooter that my hatchlings came from, and she's doing what cooters like to do, and that is surface basking. And you'll see sliders do this and miscellaneous other aquatic turtles where they're not gonna crawl all the way out of the water, but they will kind of float at the surface and put the center portion of their carapace up in the sun, and it heats them up nicely, and they always look super comfortable when they do it. I mean, look at that face. She looks really comfortable. She likes to watch what I'm doing. In warmer weather, she'll actually follow me around, but I think she's just kind of relaxed right here in the pond. Awesome. Here's a female Gulf Coast box turtle on the move. Hopefully I didn't disturb her too much, but with this warmer temperature, the box turtles are some of the first ones to come out from under the ground. When it gets cold, these guys bury deep below leaves, below the frost line, kind of hang out there. And then when you get a decent day like today, you know, these guys are gonna come out, they're gonna explore, possibly look for worms and take advantage of, you know, these brief warm stints that we go through. And it doesn't hurt that you get a bunch of rain too, because the Gulf Coast box turtles love the rain. They love getting out. And they love water, man. They're just such an interesting box turtle, very aquatic, and very, you know, kind of not what most people think of when they think of a box turtle. And this is just a beautiful female. Look at that beautiful speckled pattern on her shell. She's just gonna turn and go that way. But I bet she has a few compadres out in this enclosure, also probably moving around right now. Let's see who else we can find. And if you look, there's another female. She was actually in the pond, and she is out exploring as well. Look, here's another Gulf Coast box turtle. Let's see if we can get a good look at this guy. Hey, buddy. You can see he's coming out of his form. So the form is the depression that they make when they dig in, and he is coming up this like little mini hillside right here. So he's in kind of a vertical position. And right now, this could be considered probably cryptic basking because we're starting to get a little bit of sunlight, and he's sitting there in that dappled light, still concealed, still camouflaged, but able to absorb some sun without being seen by any possible predators. All right, right here against this fence line, right in the corner, is another male Gulf Coast box turtle. So these guys actually gave the males all military names. So there's Sergeant, Colonel, and Major. And this is Colonel. The other one we just saw was Sergeant. And Major is the really colorful one. He's got a lot of yellow on him. Colonel is identified by, he has a lot of blue and white on his face and a really developed upper jaw with those huge cusps that the males are known for developing in the Gulf Coast box turtles. And he is just a stunning animal, and he's kind of outgoing, but on his terms. Like he'll look at me and get all close to me, but then if I like try to feed him or get too close to him, he runs the other way. So he's a neat guy. And you know, box turtles unfortunately are some of the most trafficked turtles right now. They also carry a whole lot of diseases and viruses, and you can't mix species because they all carry their own unique, you know, pathogens. I almost didn't see this guy. That is a well camouflaged box turtle. Look at that. You can barely see his head sticking out right there under that green leaf. Look at that. He is just totally concealed. I'm not gonna bother him, but that's really cool. Yeah, I have to be careful walking around in this enclosure because the box turtles are so well hidden, they could be anywhere. And box turtles are just made to blend in with leaf litter like this. So what I'm looking for is places where it looks like the leaves have been pushed up and that a turtle might be underneath it. I know there's that guy back there. This is another angle of that concealed male back here. Look at that. Look at that guy. So well concealed. That look on his face says it all. He says, okay, man, you see me, just give me a break. So I'm not gonna bother him too much, but man, he is just all set right there in his little nook. Oh, this tub, you can kind of see him right there, is one of my little Florida snapping turtles. He is just kind of laying there close to the surface. Let's reach in and pick him up. How you doing, buddy? All right. This guy is a chunky monkey, like most common snapping turtles are. And he does really well outside year-round. Even though this guy's, you know, lineage is of a Florida snapping turtle, they're pretty cold tolerant and do just fine outside year-round. I wouldn't put him through anything where this tub would freeze solid, but our weather here never gets like that anyway. You can get a small layer of ice over the top of this pond, and he is safely down at the bottom, buried in some leaves and muck, and doing just fine. So I like to set him down, let him go back to being a swamp thing. Over here in this planted waterland tub, you can see the spotted turtle. Recently did a reel on this guy on Instagram, and I love seeing him in here because those spots just blend in so well with the dark bottom and with the, you know, kind of sporadic plants popping up. And spotted turtles are really unique, really beautiful turtles, but they're also protected, especially here in my home state of Georgia. These guys are protected species. You have to have a permit. I have this spotted turtle on my permit, and he's a great education animal because, you know, not a lot of people are even aware of spotted turtles, and you know, what they need is often overlooked and often developed in favor of creating agricultural land or development. And the spotted turtles, you know, like a lot of turtles and tortoises, when it comes to development, you know, they lose out in that situation. I'm super happy that I have this guy. I thank Georgia DNR, and I also thank Charlie Moorcroft for donating this turtle to the Haven. All right, guys, it would not be a visit here to my place without an alligator snapping turtle. And I've got, oh, if I can get a good grip on him. This is old Lloyd Christmas. Oh, he's got a grip on a stick. And he is in this natural bottom pond setup. It's two ponds next to each other. And this has like a natural bottom. You can see he's like kind of mud stained, but put on some really decent size. Really looking good, looking healthy. Just been buried down at the bottom, hiding out down there. The coating of the mud and the leaves, you can kind of see it on his belly. The coating of the mud and the leaves really helps with insulating him. I mean, this water is actually pretty cold, and he's doing pretty well in there. So really stoked to see that. As you know, I love alligator snapping turtles. I love working in the field with them. I definitely don't think that they are a pet turtle. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with these guys, and one thing that I see time and time again is people get them oftentimes to about this size, maybe a little bit bigger, and then they just lose interest and they either release them or they sell them, or you know, they decide to part ways with them. And, you know, it's fun to raise hatchlings, but that's not what, you know, keeping turtles is. If that's all it was, then, you know, it would be dumb. You know, these turtles are a lifelong commitment. That's what I have chosen where I live for, to be able to provide for these animals, for any of them that, you know, need a life or need help in any sort of way. And, you know, these are educational animals, so when it's warmer, this guy will come with me and go educate people. But for right now, he's gonna snooze it away in the winter. Figured, what nicer view to go out on than the waterfall here at my aquascape pond. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on some of the hatchling turtles, some of the stuff that's been going on here at the house. The weather that we're getting was too nice to not get out here and see who's running around. So thank you guys, as always. Subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.